Good morning. Hello. How are you? Happy 2025. Happy New Year to everyone who's listening, who's about to listen, maybe listening on a replay or in the bushes. Oh, just on a podcast. Well, I'd just like to say Happy New Year to everyone. It's a beautiful day. It's Thursday, January 2nd. It's 9:45, and I'm happy to be here. It's been a while. I don't know if I was taking a break as much as just, because when Zachary is out of school, I don't go live because that's a distraction. And I could go live at night, but I just feel like once I get things situated and organized, maybe I could start going live at night. But, this is our regular time in the morning. So, again, Happy New Year and welcome to the live show, Bronx Girl. I hope everyone had a enjoy. Dig, Brittany. Listen, I text your little butt back. You didn't, I don't know. We'll talk about it, Brittany. Okay. How are you? Happy belated birthday. Brittany, you look really, really, really pretty for your birthday, Brittany. You are the big 4-1, still young, thriving, looking cute. Hi, Wanda. Happy New Year. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the live show. I came live because that's what I do. I don't have no restrictions. Wait. Let me see. I have a new number. Brittany said, I have a new number. I'm trying to pin your comment. I have a new number, Boo, and thank you. You're welcome. You look like you had fun on your birthday. It's nice to see that you have friends and family that celebrate you and enjoy you, and that's how you're supposed to do it. Look like you just had a great time, and I'm happy that you had a great time. So shout out to Brittany and her birthday. I How's little Katie doing? I haven't been able to just, access a lot of things, but little Katie deserved the best. I seen her open her little gifts on Christmas. I thought it was funny. She took her time. She made sure all the paper was off. That's that I thought that was cute. I was like, look at little little Katie taking opening her gifts. So, she seemed like she's a little grateful little sweet little girl. So happy New Year to Katie. Let me see. She charged it to the game. Happy belated birthday. Hi Bronx. I charged it to the game. Happy New Year, Lasagna. Bronx in chat. Yeah, Zachary is off to school. He was happy and excited to be back in school. I was happy and excited for him to be back in school. Okay, Carolyn. Hi, Carolyn. Happy New Year, everyone. This year will be filled with health, wealth, and peace. I hope so. I need some wealth, and I want my health. And peace, I recognize and appreciate peace that comes along with it in 2025. Hi, Jackie Brown. How are you? Happy New Year. Wait, Katie is great. She just went to sleep about 5:11. Wait, she don't go back to school. Oh, okay. I know it's different. How school is run differently in different regions and different states. But Zachary went back to school today on a Thursday, public schools out here in New York City. Then they have the next round of children that's going back to school on Monday. That's charter schools. And I don't want to get into the politics of charter schools and public schools, but they operate differently. Charter schools, they have their own rules and regulations, but public schools, they abide by a certain rule and regulation. So shout out to all the public schools. Public schools are, schools. Same to you, Wanda. Wanda. Wanda said, Happy New Year, Lasagna. Charge it to the game, Carolyn J. Thank you for speaking to each other in the chat, everyone. I just wanted to come and say hello and wish everyone a happy new year. Isn't it like now 2025 and you think about like what you have been doing in the last 25 years, if you accomplish something, even if you accomplish little to nothing, you accomplish something within 25 years. So we did a since I want to be a nerd, and I know it's a lot of, and I'm when I say nerds, I'm just talking about intelligent people and people's chat. Like I check out other people's chat. I'm not going to be prejudiced. I'm not going to, uh, be play favorites. I just see how people conduct they and host their chats and how all their listeners and members and subscribers, how intelligent they are and how they respond to the host. So I'm not going to put up any favors, but what I'm saying is like 2025, that's 25 years. So like we did 2 decades and a half a decade, right? A decade is 10 years. 2 decades is 20 years. 5 years is half a decade. So that's how we want to do it. 2 decades and a half a year. It's like, okay, many people don't think they have many things they have accomplished throughout their life in 25 years, but I will be 45 in August. So that means a lot to me. It's a milestone. It's just a lot to think about 2025 and just the historical part behind it. So yeah, just let me know your thoughts on that. Zachary, he was happy to go back to school. I was happy for him to go back to school. He was, you know, during the Christmas holidays, uh-oh. During the Christmas holidays, we was chilling. Like I don't have anything in particular or any rituals. Yeah, I do have a little rituals that I do during the holidays, trying to get everything out of the way that I did not do in the beginning of the year. So it's not a rush job, but it's like I'm determined to make sure that I hit my goals. Ron, the same to you. To everyone is speaking to everyone. Hit my goals, and Zachary, like on Christmas, I think no, Christmas Eve. I didn't say Christmas because everything was closed on Christmas. We went and I let him pick out his gifts that he wanted, and he just he picked out what he wanted. And I was thinking, I'm like, the certain things he was picking out, I'm like, okay, Zachary, you outgrew that. But it was his day, and he was picking out what he liked and what he chose to. So, and he was happy. Thank goodness that Zachary is not and I'm not saying that children are ungrateful willingly, but there are children, and not to compare Zachary to any other child because he is different and than a lot of children, and you already know why I say that. Not because he's on the spectrum, or some people may consider him to have a disability. He's just different. He has a mind of his own. He know what he likes. He know what he wants. So we went to Target. I had a budget for him to pick out what he wanted and get what he wanted, and he got what he wanted, and he was happy, and I was happy. And that's the way I do things in the sense of Christmas, celebrating. Nothing too spectacular. I don't want him to expect anything too much. I was listening to Tyler Perry. I don't know if the audience, the listeners, follow Tyler Perry or their thoughts on him. He was on a talk show talking about that he only let his son get 2 things for Christmas. I'm like, that's like a Scrooge. I'm judging him because this man is a multi-millionaire, and he give back to the community. He give millions of dollars back to the community, and for him to say that, his son was only allowed to get 2 items or two, whatever he want, because he don't pay rent. Like I wouldn't want no dad like that. Granted, you sure do want to teach a child ethics and principle and how to appreciate the little things that you got. But I feel like Tyler Perry is a Scrooge. I feel like he's, you know, shortening his child's fun or taking away from his son's, I don't know, fun. And you may say, well, you did the same thing with Zachary. No, but we had a budget. Zachary is not rich. I'm not rich. But for him to just go and pick out anything he want, it was a nice sight to see. And Zachary get toys and gifts throughout the year. So there's no need for me to, you know, make a spectacle about getting the child something for Christmas. But when I heard Tyler Perry say that he only allow his son to get 2 toys because he don't pay rent and he's not rich, and they fly coach, like you're Scrooge. You're a horrible. Let me not. I'm just saying it because he put it out there. I'm not saying that he's a horrible person per se, but for him to shorten or take away from a child's fun around the holidays, and most children look forward to it. And I was watching and I was listening to people, the YouTube content creators like Brittany, like little Katie opened her little gifts, which was so cute. I thought that was so cute and just so sweet. And Brittany showed that, she have a tradition with her family. She take little Katie out to like Christmas parties and events, which is nice. It's good. That's something that Katie will grow up and have fond memories of. And I don't think Katie is the type of child to be like, oh, this is not what I wanted, and throw the shit at her mother's face. No, she was grateful, which I appreciate that. So, thank you all for sharing your little. I'm not going to get into it. Other shit. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw Roz. Well, okay, if I'm going to be the 2025 witch that I am, WITCH, that's just like, I'm going to go hard. Let me see. I don't understand the logic behind that, but I'm sure he's privileged to many luxuries. So, what made Christmas? Yeah, I didn't understand it either, Wanda. Thank you. I didn't. Hi, original Lou. How are you? I want to get back to your question because that makes sense. Thank you. Happy, hey, Bronson Chat. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everyone. 2025, 2 decades and a half a decade. I know it's corny, right? But yeah, Wanda, thank you. I didn't understand the logic behind that, but I'm sure he's privileged to many luxuries. So what made Christmas right? He said, if I may, he said, well, my son only get two things. I think he said he get a book and Legos. I don't know if he was joking. It's not funny. I don't think that's cute at all. Tyler Perry is a multimillionaire. He has given back to so many people, which is a great thing, which is a good thing. But to shortcome your son, I don't know if that's the word, but your son shouldn't have to be exposed like that, so to speak, because Tyler Perry is a multimillionaire. So I could see if the child, his son, who is, I think, older than Zachary, or probably around the same age. Zachary's 9, he'll be 10. So I'm looking at him like I wouldn't want to be married to someone like that or have a baby with someone like that, because children are supposed to be happy. Children are supposed to enjoy life. I mean, of course, you teach them certain principles and ethics, and so they could grow up to be a decent human being. But to out his son like that, to say, well, I only got him two gifts, like I'm pretty sure his son is a decent kid where he could get a budget. Everybody has a different budget. I'm not going to get into the details of my budget with Zachary, but Tyler Perry could give his son a bigger budget than my son and everybody else child in this chat, as to where, oh well, go ahead and pick up about 5 toys, right? Even if the toys add up to about $500, that's $500 for the year. Zachary gets toys during the year, and he don't really know about Christmas like little Katie would, or any other child that will be deemed or like recognized as a normal child that's not on the spectrum. So I say to Zachary, well, what do you want for Christmas? What do you want Santa to bring you? Because he don't know about Santa. He just know it because he's taught in school. I said, what do you want Santa to bring you? He said, gifts. And that's all he needs to say. I haven't talked to you since. I know, Lil, you haven't talked to me. We need to talk, right, Lil? So yeah, Wanda, I agree with that. Like, I just didn't understand it, like him outing his son. And like, I don't know if he was trying to make a statement or trying to protest or trying to act like he's this frugal father, or trying to install whatever he's trying to do. Don't use your son as it, because I felt like that's Scrooge McDuck. Granted, and I'm not gonna lie, I dislike, and I'm gonna keep it 100, and I could get the pushback all you want, because this is an open and honest discussion about the holiday season and how people decide to celebrate their holiday season, and you can do so however you choose to. But when you make a public, I'm gonna get back to Roz. When you make a public announcement about it, it's like, you know, a lot of people buy their children like 10, 20 gifts. That's disgusting to me, right? I'm pretty sure everyone want their child to be happy and enjoy the fun that the holiday seasons come with, and not deprive them of any joy, of any fun. But some people go overboard, like buying their children 10 and 20 gifts. Like, you don't need that many gifts. Like, I read, like, all your child need is like 3 to 4 gifts, because after the fourth one, they don't care. Like, how many gifts do your child need to be happy? And it's okay that people do that. But the simple fact that it's like, oh, well, I go all out for my children, which is okay. But it's like, what are you really doing it for? So I saw Roz with her children, her grandchildren, and she was giving the golden goose. We'll call, I'm not talking about the girl, the daughter, the niece. I mean, excuse me, the granddaughter. I'm not talking about her in particular. I'm not trying to out her. I don't want to say her name because that's just not appropriate for me to do. But she gave her the golden goose. Hey, Melvin, how are you? The Leo Queen is up in the building. Good morning, Bronx girl and chat. She gave her I don't know how much money it was. I know it was a lot of 20s. I just felt like that was kind of tacky. You know what I mean? Like I feel like a lot of people, and I see a lot of people do shit just for show, like just for recognition or just for validation or just for approval from the crowd, from the subscribers. Like she gave the baby, I'm not the baby because she's a young lady, a young teenager that's growing and that like things. And she was grateful, she was happy that she received all that money, all that cash. Right. I just felt like, she counted money like she was a drug dealer, or Roz giving her money in her hand like she was a drug dealer. I was like, and I'm not trying to, and I'm not being negative because a lot of people may say, oh, why are you being so negative? And I have to correct them and go on the record and say, no, it's not that I'm being negative. I'm being realistic. Right. So any other day, I don't know, will she count money? And this has nothing to do with the granddaughter. It has everything to do with her mother and her grandmother trying to prove a point and using the grandchild or exploiting the grandchild to prove a dumbass point. Like I don't know. I guess it was like over $200. Hi, happy New Year, Teresa. How are you? I just felt like that was a little bit crazy that she did that like that. And the other children got what they got. And, Roz made sure her grandchildren is okay, but she did it for the sake of everyone else to get approval and validation from the audience and her supporters, which is a okay. But when people start comparing their children to other children as if your child is better than the next child, I think that's when it becomes a problem. And it's not has nothing to do with the children. It has everything to do with the adults, has everything to do with the parents, the grandparents, getting on YouTube, showing what oh god, showing and bragging about what they have or what they don't have. Like I feel like certain things should be left for family and privacy. Certain things should be private. And that's how I felt about the holiday season on YouTube. It was just kind of whack, right? Kind of whack to me. If I didn't speak about somebody, that's because I don't want no beef. Okay, I'm just listen. I'm just gonna just be honest. I have seen. Um, oh God, I see that no one is going to die down the drama. It's not going to die down anytime soon. It's still going to be ongoing. 20, I think most people get on here for validation. Not all, but most. That's true. But I think like, and I'm not exempt from it, Mel Vaughn. Sometimes, I like the validation and approval of my subscribers, but I know it's healthy coming from my supporters and my subscribers and my listeners and my watchers. I feel like that's healthy. Like, Bronx girl, go ahead, do you talk your shit. But like for me to get up here and try to prove a point to my subscribers so they could stay uh subscribe to me, I'm not doing none of that shit. Right? I just think wish everyone a great holiday season. And, family is important to everyone and everyone that enjoy their family during the holiday season. I think that's a great thing. I think it's needed. Right, I agree. I think it's needed, when you spend time with your family here on the holidays and just engaging with each other, and getting to know one another. I don't know, it was something I think it was somebody else. I haven't really watched Glam. I don't think that she said anything special, but I know Brittany was on her ass and Brittany just don't give a fuck. And she should. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that because, Glam said that she was going to curse my ass out. I hope by the end of the year that she cursed my ass out. It will be absolutely appreciated if you curse me out. But, I don't see anything special in particular about anybody on this YouTube channel. Even though I have respect for everyone, I don't think Glam did anything special. Like I know that she's a hot topic, or I'm pretty sure her grandson enjoyed his little Christmas, and that's about it. Let me see. And me personally, like I don't know if you don't know me, if we haven't like chat behind the scenes, you wouldn't know me. And that's okay and that's good. So on here I have a personality to present, and offline I have a personality to present. So from 2025 I'm not like giving a fuck about anybody feelings. And if I come on this side of YouTube, which is my main channel, my monetized channel, I'm not going to hold back of what I say and how I say it and who I say it about. I just don't think if the girls on this side on the drama keep up with the drama, right? I'll come check in every once in a while. I did see Zay and I know Zay and Brittany are cool. I don't think they that cool. With Brittany will have to unsubscribe from me. Like I feel like when I speak about certain people favorites and people favorite hosts or content creators, and I say something that they don't like or agree with, my subscribers vanish. They leave. Right. So the last time I spoke about Glam and said I didn't like the way she talked about little Katie, and not to use Katie as content, but it was just an example of that. I don't like women like Glam in that particular instance, but I'm not going to say I hate the woman. I'm not going to say she's a bad person. It's just that it's just crazy. But I did see Zay and Ross chat. And he be calling her auntie. If I was Ross, I'd be like, don't fucking call me auntie. I am not your auntie. I think that's vulgar. I think that's a disrespectful term to use towards a black woman, in my personal opinion. I may be taking it the wrong way, which I am, because I mean, certain instances where you can call auntie, right? I wouldn't want my children calling Rod's auntie, even if she's just a friend or a stranger, or not a stranger, friend or neighbor. No, you call her by Miss Roz or hey Roz, like auntie. Like don't make it too personal, and people become too familiar with these content creators. Like that's just my personal opinion. Let me read these comments because I can go off the hinge. I guess that's the word. Let me see. All I want to know is what does it prove? We did show and tell in school, and this is what these people enjoy doing. I let them be great if that's what to see as boasting or bragging. No, I'm just saying, like, it's not meant, like, again, I don't have a problem with it personally, but I guess the act, Wanda, behind it is not honest, right? So it's like, okay, you got your granddaughter up here, you got your daughter, you got your son, you got your children up here. Like, the adults or alone can't show what they got for Christmas or what they wanted for Christmas. So they use the children. Why? It's like, so now YouTube is your personal family, right? Yeah, to each his own. But if you put it on YouTube and you want people to recognize it and see that, you got your granddaughter, gave your granddaughter over $200, or you gave your, let me stop right there. Or you just gave gifts. I just wouldn't use my son, and I wouldn't want anybody else to use my son or even make a example of my son, right? I don't think it's like, I think it was boasting. I think it was bragging. I think it was like done in, not all. I don't have favorites, but it was a difference. I don't see a little, gosh, Wanda, now you trapped me in a corner. Okay, so if I'm gonna keep it 100, it's a difference how, you share your Christmas with your subscribers. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, Wanda. Okay? Right? So if you look at, and I don't want to use anybody as an excuse, but as an example, and from this day on, because the Christmas season is over here, so I would go into it uh, carefully with consideration, Wanda. So now, if I was just an observer, which I am, I don't observe that much. I think I'm getting better at observing, even though they're two different ages. Oh yeah. Oh, sorry. I was like, okay, I'm trapped in a corner because I don't want to like make it seem like I'm a negative Nancy, right? So just look at it this way. And Mel Vaughn said, "I like Zay, and I think he looks at Roz as his auntie. He don't mean any harm, but I see." No, I think he come in, he respect the chat, he respect Roz. Roz honor him as being respectful. And it's already done with, because like Fee, she referred to Glam as Miss Miss Kim, and that's who she referred to Roz as Miss Roz, right? So I'm the type of person, like, if I'm standing in line, and I'm just using this as an example, and a lot of women in here may agree with me or may not agree with me. If you are an agreement, or if you're not, you are free to give feedback. So, like, if you going shopping and someone just automatically um, address you as ma'am, I don't think they mean any harm either. But I feel like sometimes that could be inappropriate because, like, why would you say ma'am instead of miss or ask me my name? Like, you just don't label people. And some people take it as, oh, I'm not a old person. Some people take it as, oh, I'm just being respectful. Like, don't address me as ma'am. Like, you didn't ask me, can you address me as ma'am? So I feel the same way as auntie and like miss. Like, then the correction could be like, well, don't, you could call me Leela. You could call me Bronx girl. If little Katie, I'm just using little Katie, or like Zachary, he'd meet Brittany and he'd be like, hey, Brittany. And if Brittany want to correct him and say, you can call me Miss Brittany, right? Or I meet and Katie meet me and she'd be like, hey, what's up, Bronx girl? I'm going to accept that because I'm not going to shoot down her little confidence as to, so she won't distrust adults. That's what I mean. And as far as I just feel like they just too forward with shit, like too familiar, like calling Roz auntie because he didn't ask her and she just don't have to accept it. I don't have a problem with it. I just think it's just a little bit too comfortable when people address each other with names other than their names. I wanted to get back to Wanda. I'm saying exactly what you're saying. No, but it's like, and it's okay. I just, okay. So Lasagna said, I live in the South. That is how you address a lot of us. Now, I just feel like a lot of people, and I'm glad you said that, Lasagna. If I forgot, if I'm off track with my diet, wait. Oh my gosh, I got it right. My monologue, but it's a dialogue because we are interacting with each other. We are talking and having a conversation. And you all know if you are in this chat and you are participating and engaging, I love you for it. You can say whatever you want to say, however you want to say it, but it just, let's keep it respectful because we are grown and sexy and adults. So so I just think it's like in the Black community, not to pick on the Black community, it's certain things that I don't think that should be like written in stone. Right. So I understand that part, Lasagna, when you say I live in the South, that is how you address a lot of ma'am. Like, don't address me as ma'am. I don't know you like that. Right. If you're trying to be funny, like if I don't even address older guys. If I know, maybe if I'm trying to be funny and I'll be keeping it 100, like, sir, right? Or like if I'm mad at one of my guy friends, sir, what do stuff like that. But to automatically address a woman as ma'am, I went to the store, I was shopping, and the lady said, ma'am. So I was about to say, that's not my name. Did you ask me, can you call me ma'am? But I knew that she didn't mean any harm by it. I know it wasn't enough to behind it. I'm walking one day with Zachary, and this guy out of nowhere, I'm walking. I don't know if I was cute to him or I look old to him, or he was just being friendly, or he was just being funny or flirting. He said, "Good morning, ma'am." I'm like, "Good morning." I could have been like, good morning, you jerk, right? He was like, why are you calling me a jerk? Why are you calling me ma'am? Everybody live in a different state. We all live in different states in different regions of the country where people are dressed differently. They all have their different cultures. Lasagna, understand that you say, where we live in an area where that's how they address us. I live in New York. Right, Lasagna, I'm originally from Michigan. Ooh, go girl. But live down south. My family from the south for men versus my family up north. That's right, Melvon. Keep it 100. Keep it 100. Certain things we have to break as individuals and within our community. There's nothing wrong with addressing people as ma'am because it's regional, right? It's state by state, it's regional. We all live in different societies. But when I saw Zay address Roz as auntie and Roz didn't have a problem with it, I don't have a problem with it. I just feel like I don't think it's done in good I don't think it's done with bad intentions, but I don't acknowledge it as but okay, so I'll use an example. So say like if I'm talking to um Brittany's mom, because she's the only good example that I feel like I could think of using. Like if I speak to her on the phone, which I have never spoken to her on the phone, I'm going to address her as Libra 4 until she tell me otherwise, right? So I'm not going to make her feel like I'm beneath her, or like I have to pay my respects for her. But I will say, hey Libra 4, how you doing? So if she feel otherwise, and she said Bronx girl, or she called me Bronx, or however, or Brittany herself, because we know Brittany don't have a problem with speaking her mind and get her point across, which I respect about Brittany, and she know how to do it in a decent way. So she said, well, Bronx, you know what, my mom is a woman that requires certain type formal address. So if you can you please call her Miss Such and Such, right? So if she say call her Miss Libra 4, I'm like, nah, you wilding out, Brittany. Now you trying to be funny. So if she say Bronx, can you address her by Miss? But if her mother say to me personally, say, oh Bronx, it's okay if you call me Miss, except in her name, insert her name. I'm fine with that. To be corrected. If Zachary was to call Brittany, and Brittany's like, hey, Zach, you cool, dude. Say it to me. You could call me Miss Brittany, and I'm okay with that. I wouldn't get upset. I wouldn't get mad. I would respect what Brittany say. Now, if little Katie was to call me, hey Bronx girl, how you doing? We have that type of friendship. We would have that type of friendship, and a lot of people may say, well, Katie is a child. But if she addressed me as Bronx girl, and then Brittany step in and say, no, call her Miss Leela, I'm like, no, Brittany, she could call me Bronx girl. And that's it. That's all. Wait, I stay in Texas now. Texas, you got Megan Thee Stallion, which I love. Her first album, I lost weight to. I got Beyonce. She always is going to be Texas. Texas is the biggest state, right? Even though y'all got a lot of Republicans out there, that's a Republican state. That's okay. They got you, Mel Bombi. Oh yeah, look, Lasagna is from Detroit. She plays no games. Wait, that's our Southern personality, and here that's where we raise her on the South. Okay, well, that okay, it is, and that's what I say is regional, right? But some people, like, they say it here in New York too. Like, I was going to the doctor, and this is just me sharing my personal views, and I love that you are listening, and I appreciate that you're listening. And if you are listening and you're still here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, right? I had to warm up the chat. The chat warmed me up. The chat warmed me up, as they always do. But like, I was at a doctor's appointment, and I'm going to tell you how this thing, labeling people and addressing people without their permission, will get you. So I'm standing behind a lady. The receptionist said, next. Lady stepped up. I'm calling her lady, woman. I just said, this lady stepped up for, visionary purposes. She stepped up. She looked like she was about in her, she looked like a older woman. So he said, hi, ma'am, how are you? She said, you don't have to call me ma'am. Um, and he said he replied to her. I don't know if he said, oh, this is for like formal purposes, like he just let it be known that it was just a formal address, or a formal, I don't know. But she corrected him, which I didn't have a problem with. And I'm not just going to go around correcting people and say ma'am. I just look at them differently. She corrected him and said, you don't have to call me ma'am. Another incident, I'm in a store in New York here. We pretty are forward and direct. Guy, and I'm gonna tell you that, you just can't call people, get too familiar with people. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Do not become too familiar with people. I'm in a store, people will call it the bodega. The guy walked in, the cashier, the guy that owns the store, which I know, and I'm gonna get to my point. He said, hey, buddy, to the guy coming in, the customer coming in the store. That's what the owner said. One of the owner, I'm just, because he is the owner. So the customer walks in. He said, hey, buddy. And he said something else. You know what the customer said to him? He said, don't call me buddy. I am not an F. I am not a homo. I am not gay. You see what I'm saying? So people become too familiar with others and feel like they could just label you as anything. I have one kid around my area that called me auntie, and he's been calling me auntie for years. I would not ever correct him because he could call me auntie. He's the only one that ever called me auntie, right? And I'm glad that he called me auntie because it just let me know that he's not attracted to me. Okay, that's what I'm saying. So let me say, okay, Lasagna, I'm from Inkster, Michigan. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Michigan, Detroit is in the building. Okay, Redford is down the street. Look at Lasagna and Mel. Yeah, I would make a great. Mel is a Leo and Lasagna is a Gemini. We up in this thing. Okay, here we go. Wanda said, I dress you on here according to your content name only. Thank you, Wanda. I think and that's what I'm trying to say. Like, okay, say, like Roz, she don't have a problem with calling people baby and maybe, right? That's just her, right? And sometimes, that's how she make her audience feel good. And she's familiar with them. She's like, okay, baby, okay, honey, okay, sweetheart, right? I doubt if you hear me say that, right? Because I don't want to make people feel uncomfortable. But I will call you by your astrology or, but certain, I just feel like certain things is just like overstepping. But I understand what you're saying, Wanda, and I could be a little hypocritical. I just by calling people by their astrology, like, oh, Mel the Leo or Lasagna the Gemini, like Roz. She's and I'll give her that much because it don't sound too like trying to be funny. Roz addresses her audience as baby. That's natural for her, right? But and I'm going to say this, I want everyone to just have an idea of what I'm talking about. So when a man familiarizes himself with me, and you just met a guy, I have run into men. I have met men that I meet just me and them and they call me baby. And then that moment I become a little hesitant and I shut down because you don't know me like that to be calling me baby. And I correct those type of men like my name is Leela, right? Sometimes I'll be like Bronx girl, they be like, I'm not a fan. Like you call me Bronx girl. And then I'm not calling you that, then I'm not gonna answer to you. Like the ones that think they have a leverage or level over me or just a advantage. Like, how you doing, baby? And I'm like, what? You don't even know me. Why are you calling me baby? And I'm not gonna get into that conversation. I just feel it. I apply it the same way I apply it as, and then I'll correct my mistake on Zay. He probably, I don't know. I don't know what. I think I'm going about this because Roz and Zay had a little disagreements, right? So for him to call her auntie like all things are settled, and I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into it. Keep telling them call you. Look now, I like call me Bronx. You are funny. I love Leos. We stick up for each other. Let me read the comments. I like this one. I address you on here according to your content name only. I like that. Thank you, Lasagna. She said hit the like button. And she threw up the eagles and the lions. My aunt from up north don't like to be called ma'am because it's related to when slaves called their man. Oh, ma'am and sir. Thank you. I didn't think of it like that, but it makes sense. But you know what? Like I'll tell you this much, Mel Vaughn. She said, "Mate, keep telling them to call." So I was sitting in the park and I was just randomly sitting there chilling like I chill, because Yankee Stadium have a beautiful park. If you ever come to New York and you want to visit and you want to sit there, you want to just recollect your thoughts and just, you know, be in your zone. So I'm sitting there smoking on some lie and this guy randomly walks up to me and we started talking. He was cool and we was having a conversation, but he didn't call me baby. We was just talking. We was listening to music, and sometimes I judge people by their music, or because I have a speaker and it's a nice speaker and it plays nice music. So we sitting there. I asked him what he want to hear. He asked me to put on Betty Wright, No Pain, No Gain. But I was like, No Pain, No Gain. But I didn't judge him instantly because if he would have asked me to put on R. Kelly, I'm like, nah, we in this right here. So he was asking me my name, and then I'd be like Leela, but you could call me Bronx girl. He was like, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. He was like, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. And the other guys, I guess I tell that to the guys I'm not attracted to or just trying to promote my page. Right. And then I hear guys be like, oh, well, I'm not calling you Bronx. Why not? Why are you so disrespectful? And that's what I'm going to start doing, Mel. They'd be like, yo, what's your name, shorty? I'm like, my name is Bronx Girl. Like, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm officially Bronx Girl on my YouTube page. I love playing with men emotions and shit. I don't want them to think they're so familiar with me. Like, oh, what's up, baby? How you doing, baby? Like you don't know me. Don't call me baby. And I guess I apply it to the same thing as calling someone auntie or ma'am that you just met. Let them know. That's right. Detroit is in the building. I'm telling you, it'd be so crazy because I be getting beside myself. I be feeling myself and shit. I'm like, nah, today I'm gonna be Bronx, right? The supporters that I have become friends with, they still call me Bronx, right? Respectfully. And I love every moment of it. And I'm like, you call me Leela, they stick to Bronx. And I understand that. That's how we met. And that's okay with me. But it's not to make a big deal about or even trying to like diminish someone's character as if they're a bad person. I don't think Zay is a bad person because he called Ross auntie. Like I don't. I feel like Ross is a little bit too sophisticated to be called auntie. Like I wouldn't call her auntie at any moment. I don't care if she's my aunt. I call her auntie, right? But if she's like Ross is like what 10, 12 years older than me, like 13 years older than me, I'm not calling her auntie. Right, I don't care if Zay is like in his 20s or 30s. Like, nah, don't. But I guess people will say Ross call people baby, and that's okay too. Or ma'am, like Mm, I don't know. Like if you call me ma'am from this day over forward, I'll overlook it. I'm not. I don't take it personally. I just feel like some people, right, and I think it depends on where you're from. Like like Mel Vaughn and Lasagna and a lot of other women in the chat were saying that it's where we from the South. That's how to refer. But I didn't know this. Like Mel Vaughn said, my aunt's from up north and they don't like to be called ma'am because it's related to. I didn't know that. And you know what I'm gonna do? Somebody call me ma'am. I'm like, do I look like a master to you? Do I look like a slave to you? They're like, what are you talking about? And then I'm gonna go into a history lesson about being called ma'am and sir. So like if a guy texts me and trying to be funny, I'm like, sir, what are you saying, sir? To be disrespectful, right? But I don't even call good looking older men sir, which I should to make them feel older. Like, how you doing, baby? How you doing, sir? To let him know you're older than me, way older than me. You don't have to call me sir. You don't have to call me baby, right? And let him. Oh my gosh. Okay, and then it's in this chat, not names, but it was just a great dialogue that we are having. There's this new thing going around, and I don't know, and I'm going to conclude this live with this. Just stay here if you're still here and listen, because I wanted to come and show love to my beautiful audience and my beautiful supporters that's still with me and don't judge me based on my content and know that it's content, which a lot of people wouldn't, and you shouldn't. You don't have to stay nowhere that you don't feel wanted. Wait, let me see. My aunt always correct me for calling her ma'am, and her mom are sisters, but my mom is way older, so that was the way I was raised. No, I understand. But so like, if I was to meet your mom, Mel, I said Mel Bell, I know now that I'm like, hi, how are you, ma'am? How you doing? Nice to meet you. For the respect of you and your mom. So, because I'm not going to get too familiar with her and be like, hey, if her name is Mel, hey, Mel, how you doing? No, that's disrespecting you, and that's disrespecting your mom. If I was to meet Lasagna family, older family, I would just respect and say, hey, Deb, Happy New Year, Bronx and chat. Happy New Year. Thank you for coming to the chat. So now I know I have been taught something, and I'm going to take it into consideration, and I'm not going to be taking it all personal like it's a disrespect. I don't even call older women ma'am because I call them, address them by their name. But now that I know that it is a sign of respect, I would do so with respect. And if someone called me ma'am, I'm not going to take it personal, which I don't. I just feel like sometimes that could be a little bit too familiar. You becoming too familiar, and I retreat into a cocoon. I don't know if I won't start speaking astrology terms. I don't know if you're a Leo, but we can be a little bit aloof, and we withdraw when we feel like people are becoming too familiar with us, and that's not how we started off. But what I wanted to say is before I end this live, and if you are here with me and you haven't already liked and comment and subscribed, this is your opportunity to do so. And I want you to go home or continue your day, not go home, but continue your day with this thought in mind. So Raven Simone and a lot of other, and I prefer to be referred to and addressed as and identify as a Black woman. I don't, not that I have a problem with the term African American, right? But for those who don't know, a lot of Black people, which is okay, don't want to be referred or addressed or be identified as African American. When I fill out like applications or surveys, they ask, are you African American or Black? You have the choice to determine if you're African American or if you are Black, right? So Raven Simone said, don't call her African American, which I understand and which I give her credit for. But what a lot of people don't know is like that term was coined, if I'm not mistaken, and I could be wrong, by I don't know if it was Jesse Jackson or maybe I'm just being a little bit, I'll do my history. But what I want to tell you is that I learned is that why they call Black people African Americans and who they consider African Americans are the people that was closest to the transatlantic slave trade, right? So they brought our people, when I'm not saying our people, like not in particular, but they brought African people over here to America from Africa. So the ones that were closest to the slave trade are considered African American, right? And the ones, Black Americans, like if you were born here and you consider yourself Black and you identify as Black, we are called Black American. I don't have a problem with the term Black. I don't have a problem with the term African American. But a lot of people don't get it correct and don't know the history behind it or where the term came from or how the term came about. So your ancestors and the ones that were stolen and brought over here from Africa to America, that makes sense, right? African American. The slaves, the closest, I was raised saying, ma'am, where Carolyn said, I was raised saying, ma'am, that's who I am, respect. That's true. I just feel like, all right, so I'll get back to you in a moment and then I'll just wrap it up. What I'm saying is like a lot of people, and I don't sit there and correct people like people say, well, don't call me African, don't call me this because I'm not African. You don't like, we're not going to get into like a history and where we came from and where we started from and where we evolved from and where one race evolved from Africa. We're not going to get into that. But if you want to get technical and you want to be at least sounding like you know what you're talking about, it is definitely good to know that when people are called African American and how African American came about, not that me or you in the chat are being identified as African American, right? We can say proudly, yes, I'm a Black American, but the people that you are referring to and that's being called African American are the ones that were closest to the transatlantic slave trade. So the enslaved Africans that were brought to America are considered African American. And as far as ma'am, okay, everyone raise their kids differently. I hear children still calling their mothers ma'am, which I think is totally, I don't know, uncalled for, but okay. If that's the only way you have to respect someone is by calling them, a surname, which is okay, Miss, Mrs., or Mr. It doesn't matter. All I'm saying is like a lot of people don't accept the word ma'am, like a lot of people don't accept the term African American, right? Is it respectful or it's just a little bit forward to call Black people African American? I can see that you want to put a title on it, you want to address them in a certain way. Is it a difference between is it a respectful thing to call a Black person African American? Is it, I don't know. Let me know. Is it respectful? And I can see in ways because people in the South, yes, that's how they speak, and it's okay, but you don't necessarily have to call people here in New York, ma'am, or if you're familiar with them. My father is from the South. He's from Georgia. He never made me feel like I had to call him sir or anybody address him as sir in my family. So I don't know when he go to the doctor's office, I'm pretty sure he don't correct them when they call him sir or if they call him sir because he is from Georgia. Dublin, Georgia. I think Dublin or Decatur, Georgia. So I know the respect. I'm just saying that we shouldn't have to be pressured into calling people ma'am or sir out of respect. Wait, I call I call people sweet. No, 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 Jackie. I call people sweetheart and sweetheart. That's not disrespectful. No, it's not disrespectful. If okay, we'll talk about this another time because I understand what you are saying, Jackie. I'm not saying it's disrespectful. I guess me personally, and I guess it depends on the situation. I don't think it's like disrespectful to call anyone sweetheart or sweetie, but like, and I'm just using it as excuse. I have men or women calling me. It sounds a little bit different from a woman calling another woman sweetheart that they know, and as a man calling you baby that you just met. What's up, baby? How you doing, baby? You don't know me like that, and it's not coming from a good place, and it could be seen and recognized as being misogynist. And I don't use that word too often because I don't know how to apply it in the right context. But a man calling a woman baby that he just met, like I'm telling you, I get put off by men calling me baby and they don't know me like that. And I don't get put off by someone calling each other ma'am, but I feel like when you address someone, that's just a label. Like ma'am, like is it respectful? It could be respectful. I don't think it's disrespectful, but you just don't know that type of the person, how the person will receive it. And I'm opening my mind to just new things, and I'm learning. I have learned in this chat that it's okay to be called ma'am, but I wouldn't correct someone and say don't call me ma'am. But if it's intentionally done, okay, whatever. Now you're trying to be funny. I guess it's the matter of context it's used, right? Women have a different rapport with each other that we can relate to one another than men, and I guess that's the type of example I'm trying to use. Kenya, hi Kenya, said yes, I love African American term better than Black American. You do, Kenya. I'm glad you said that. I like the term Black, right? Um, I'm proud to be Black. And it's not like I wake up every day and say, "Oh, I'm a Black woman," and I'm about to go show everyone I'm Black. But and if you want to decide and choose, and you want to, if it's up for debate and for a poll, okay, yeah, I could see where you say African American, but I like the term Black. I just learned that people call themselves Black American, so I corrected one of my friends. I was like, Black American? You're already American. You're already Black. So I don't know. I guess I'm learning something new. 73 people watching. Let's get these likes. And from Bronx, girl, thank you, Mel Bell. I appreciate you so much. That's the Leo in us, So I'm learning a lot today on this New Year's, and I'm going to take it and with a grain of salt and learn something and just be a little bit open to different perspectives and views. And I'm not saying that Zay should stop calling Ross auntie. I'm not saying that Ross should stop calling people baby. I'm just saying in general, like everyone don't receive nicknames and terms too well. So from this day forward, I'm going to call people, like Wanda says, she addressed people by their content name only, which is a good thing, right? So I'm going to at least look and take into consideration if I see someone Zachary age calling someone else ma'am. I didn't teach it to him. I don't know where he got it from. Okay, right? Because I have been corrected. He has been corrected. So he has been corrected. So now I know, like, if you're an older person and you're older than me, and da 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 da, Zachary, you say miss, because it's the right thing to do. If you are calling me ma'am, it's a formal address. It's just formal. Okay. So I say it in a different way. I don't call nobody ma'am unless it's called for, presented. I call men sir out of disrespect. Like, okay, sir. We be talking about, sir. You want me to abide by your rules, sir? Okay, I honor your request, sir. To let him know, like, you calling me baby, I'm gonna call you sir. Like, oh, don't call me sir. Why not? You older than me. Why not? You want to be honored and you want to be recognized, and we'll get into that at a different time. But that's just an example. That's just an example of how people should be a little bit. Besides, I'm telling you, what's up, baby? How you doing, baby? And I'm like, what I'm supposed to do with him calling me baby? Should I be a bitch and say, first of all, my name is Bronx Girl, okay? Mel Bell told me I should keep that going. I want to keep it going. First of all, my name is Bronx Girl, not baby. And he'd be like, what are you talking about, shorty? Because that's what they call us, shorty. Call me Bronx Girl. That's the name your mother gave you? No, that's the name I'm telling you to call me, okay? Don't call me baby. I don't know you like that. And I feel like you're being a little bit disrespectful. You ain't my father. And I was I'm gonna end this live because y'all are trouble. I love this. I love this chat. I love you for listening. I just love you coming in here warming each other up for the 2025. For 2025, we're going to go hard. We're going to go deep, and we're going to keep it open and an honest dialogue within our community. So if you are still in here, I would like to thank you, wish you a happy new year for 2025, and say thank you for listening to my insight and my perspective. Thank you, Mel Bell and Lasagna and Jackie and everyone that participated. Have a great day. I'll see you soon. Peace.